We'll see.
Wait. So the reason this big switch happened to begin with is because you were worried that there was a couple names on this list out of 16 that you or Steph didn't know.
I didn't know.
And now we're doing cereals, and none of us eat cereal.
Well, I didn't know half of the death scenes, so
Larissa,
I would have just been like,
is
I don't
the
know.
host. It's
Oh no,
her
I have no
choice
problem with that. I
this
think we're
week.
having fun. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shifting Tones, the podcast with nerdy tones and shifting formats. Today, I'm your host, Lorissa, and we'll be joined by my other two lovely co-hosts, Spiffy Steffi
Hello, hi.
and Sir Toucan Sam.
What's up, guys?
So how's it going? What's the haps? What happened on your long weekend?
Long weekend.
Yeah. Well, it felt
Didn't we
long
record
to
last
me.
week?
We sure
Oh.
did, but it felt long to me, and I'm sure we'll get into why it felt long in a little bit.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go first. I feel like I
Woohoo!
haven't gone first in a while.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm officially on spring break. It's
Woohoo!
super nice. Within my break, I'm about halfway through it, I would say, at this point.
Nice,
so it's going by really quick, and I'm kind of sad about it because there's so much I want to get done.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god, I haven't accomplished like nearly everything I wanted to.
Sure.
Is it like housework stuff or just like hobby
Everything.
stuff?
I feel like it's both. It's like hobby, school related, housework, everything.
Course,
it's like when you're not teaching, you're trying to just get everything done because you have all this free time now to do it. And you're not like exhausted when you come home at the end of the day.
Of course.
But the biggest thing I've been doing is like 3 days now, I've gone to my local cafe and coffee shop, and I have sat for like 3 hours straight doing my schoolwork.
Oh, good.
I have just been putting in the time.
Awesome.
Big girl stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to be super responsible with that. So I'm doing the stuff I don't want to be doing, but I need to get done. So.
Okay.
That's fair, but responsible, you know.
Yeah. So a lot of my personal projects have just not been going anywhere as of late. But the only like small personal project I've been doing is getting back into like doing fan art, which yeah, because there's like a on Tumblr. I know it's on Tumblr.
Sonic with booty cheeks.
No,
throwback.
No, throwback. We're talking about Tumblr.com.
Right.
DeviantArt.
Oh, that's an even bigger throwback.
No,
I don't even know about it.
But they're doing like a celebration for a character from Mob Psycho, so I'm doing like a fan art a week. Or every day of a week, so I'm kind of doing that as like
You've
a
done those before,
thing.
though, right?
I've done that before, so I was like, you know what? I'm off. I have time to draw. Let's do some of that.
I love that for you.
I love that for me.
Other than that, I haven't really done much of anything, so yeah.
Well, that sounds like a great weekend, Steph. I'm so glad you had fun doing all that.
Yeah, well, the fun's not over yet. I still have some time. My little sister's coming back for a wedding, so I'll get to hang out with her just for a couple days, and we'll celebrate her birthday, and that's coming up here shortly, so...
Not your little sister's wedding, but a wedding.
No,
your little sister's coming home for.
Yes, exactly, no.
Okay.
That would be...
Because that would be crazy.
That would be crazy to be like, hey guys, surprise, my sister's getting married.
Right.
Surprise to everyone, including yourself, yeah.
Right, yeah, no, that would be crazy, so... That's it, just a short little update from me.
Cool. I'm going to let Lorissa talk about the more fun, detailed stuff we did this weekend, but we celebrated my mom's birthday. It was kind of a makeup for her 60th because of COVID, so we did a little Airbnb trip out to Jamestown, New York for a weekend. Okay. It's this smaller town.
North, south? Where is that?
It's like like the western portion of New York State.
Yeah.
Like close to the Pennsylvania border.
Oh.
South of Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was really cool because it's on this like our Airbnb wasn't on the lake, but there's this huge lake there, and there's a bunch of small towns around it and everything.
Okay.
And Jamestown is also Lucille Ball's birthplace, so that had played into our weekend. But what I wanted to talk about was two things. One, we stayed in a, what would you call it, a colonial home, like a brick?
Oh, no. More like a Victorian meets arts and crafts movement sort of house. It was a brick building, right?
Yes, it was brick. Yeah, it was entirely brick. Yeah, definitely the interior and the design of the inside was Victorian. I said colonial just because like I'm thinking old town America, brick home or whatever.
Absolutely.
But so while we were in there, there was 3 floors to, well, the first floor, the second floor, and then there was a third floor, 2 more bedrooms on it.
That's a pretty big Airbnb.
It was huge, yeah, because it was 5 bedrooms.
Okay.
5 or 6 bedrooms, yeah. And so that my niece got her own little room. She's a little bit older now compared to the other niece, so that was probably nice for my brother and sister-in-law. But so while everybody was on the 3rd floor checking out those rooms, I was downstairs and I was looking out the front window, just seeing what the street was and everything. There was a little community garden across the street. And I thought, as I was turning around, I thought somebody was walking behind me and going up the stairs. And I said, "Ooh, I'm sorry." Because I thought somebody was trying to squeeze past me because there wasn't a ton of space between the bottom of the stairs and where the front door was.
Okay.
They kind of met. And as I'm turning around and I say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I swear, I know no one's going to believe me, but I saw like a pair of legs walking up the stairs." And that was a weird thing. It was just a pair of legs. I didn't see a torso or anything. Just like as I was turning around.
The daytime?
During the middle of the day.
Oh.
Because I was like, "Oops, sorry." And saw the legs going up and I was like, "Hold up, what?" And I think I even did an audibly like, what did I just see? And I thought maybe, got new glasses. We don't have the glare anti-glare stuff. So I kept trying to do it over and over again, seeing if maybe the sun hit it. Could not recreate it. So spooky.
Did you do a ghost hunt at night?
No, and that's what we talked about. I have my ghost hunting equipment. I should have brought it, but I didn't think to. But number 2, I got a new hat.
Yes.
Larissa will talk about the new hat.
I sure will.
But it says, "Women want me, fish fear me."
Nice.
So it's a classic, yeah. But nobody cares about my weekend. Everybody cares about the Controversial Corner 2025.
It's true.
It's true. That's why people have been giving us billions of dollars. We're actually becoming a super PAC. It's crazy.
Wow. Do we get dark money? That's so exciting.
No, we get anti-money.
Oh, that's not as exciting. That means no money.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh. All right, number 1. Actually, I don't even know if these are like really controversial things. It's things I actually just wrote down that I wanted to talk about. I don't think coworkers use terms properly. This might be something I've talked about before.
What do you mean terms?
There's 2 terms that I hear all the time from older coworkers.
Right. Okay.
Number 1 is just from a high level. Everything's high level. And I don't know what high level means that they think it means.
Sure.
Because high level should be like important, like the big picture, higher end stuff, high level stuff. And I swear they're not using it that way. They're like, if you just want to go out and check these high level designs, very simple, very basic stuff.
You're like, doesn't compute.
I'm like,
must be just like a your job specific, because for me that does not apply.
It's specifically, at least it seems to be in the utility design industry. Ask your husband about it, because I think they use it at his job too. And it's weird. And the next one is, old people love this phrase and they don't know what it means, is instead of saying, "I'm going to be out of the office," or "I'm going to be busy this week," they say, "I'm going to be out of pocket Friday."
That's
I'm like, "What do you mean you're going to be?"
I've never heard that.
Right. I was like, "What do you mean you're going to be out of pocket? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to like
beat me up?
Show up naked to work? Like, what do you mean out of pocket?" And I hear it multiple times, mostly from older guys, like construction guys and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah.
I've never heard that term.
Really? Okay.
You know what out of pocket is, though, in general.
Well, yes, but I've never heard someone in a work context say that.
Me either.
Right. Number 2, what is a poo as far as Winnie the Pooh?
I just watched a TikTok about this, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
Okay. I was thinking about it because somebody was talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, which means that, because I think they put in the fact that Winnie the Pooh could be in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe because it's Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh,
so technically Winnie the Pooh could be in the Sonic
like
universe.
Describing the animal in a way.
Right. So what is a poo? P-O-O-H.
I do know this, actually, if you want the real answer.
I'm ready.
So, the actual original author of the book series also wrote a poem series before the quintessential Winnie the Pooh series came out. It's based off of her son's journeys growing up as a child. And we all know this, that like his collection is mostly stuffed animals. That's what Winnie the Pooh is based off of.
Right.
And so the bear actually has a name from like the store. Like a store brand gave him like a name. You know how like the teeny
babies, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So its original name was Edward, but they didn't like that. And
I don't blame them.
Yeah, exactly.
Edward the bear.
And so in a poem, when Christopher Robin was like a toddler, there was a pond near their house and there was a swan. And for whatever reason, Christopher Robin called him Pooh. And at some point he outgrew the pond and the swan. And so they decided, well, Pooh is so great, let's recycle it onto another fantasy well, not to say swan's fantasy like creature, but you
Right,
know,
right, right.
like
Another storybook kind of animal, yeah.
character, yes. And so apparently Winnie the Bear is a real bear that was in the British Zoo back in like the 1920s.
Oh,
And so when they went to the zoo, apparently the author had connections and they were able to go meet the bear cub. And
interesting.
so Christopher really loved Winnie. And so one day when they asked him to rename the bear, he said, let's name him Winnie the Pooh. So Pooh means
Nice.
nothing.
Okay, well, look at that. We got a lesson
Mhm.
today. We all learned something.
Absolutely.
Right, number 3, Shifting Tones should sponsor more things. Speaking of, because the
Mhm.
reason I brought this up,
What?
look, we
Like
don't sponsor enough.
we're sponsoring things,
Yes.
or
Like we pay
things
for
are
a
sponsoring
sponsor.
us.
Like we pay for a sponsorship. Yeah. I mean, it
Okay.
definitely should be the other way around.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
what's that one that HelloFresh? Where are you guys at? Where are you
Right.
guys? Where's Me
I
Undies? Come on,
know.
hit us up. We're big.
I want to make
Big.
tacos or whatever. Let's have taco
Absolutely.
night.
But I heard that the White House this year is doing sponsorships for the Easter egg hunt for their
Yes.
Easter event for whatever
Okay.
reason. But could you imagine a Shifting Tones
I would love it.
sponsored event at the White House? Doesn't matter who's in the White House, but just a White House
Mhm.
sponsored Shifting Tones event.
People will be like, "What the hell is that?"
I
There, that
know.
little
Hey,
logo
yeah,
thing.
we took out a $200,000 loan because there's $75,000 to $200,000
Oh
for the
my.
sponsorships.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous
Mhm.
capitalism, baby.
Yeah, BB.
And number 4, do you know? I mean, do you guys ever think that there's people with generic or no personalities? And I know that sounds mean
I was
because
gonna say
everybody
that's
has a
extremely
personality,
mean.
but I definitely think I've encountered people where they probably do have a personality, but
Mhm.
I'm like, what is your personality? Like, I know you exist, and I know you're
Sure.
nice, and you're like,
Like from the short time that you're meeting them, you're just like, I don't know.
yeah, but also people I've met before,
Oh,
like no one specific. I have like a family member, and I'm like, what do you do? Like, what is your personality? Like, I know you work, I know you have a job, I know
Mhm.
you have a spouse, but like, what do you do besides that? What I
Right.
mean, like, I have other cousins and other like family members that have like really good personalities, deep personalities. Like my one cousin, he's a barber and he sells sneakers. Like that's really
Mhm.
cool. My other cousin works for a nonprofit and used to run an opera house. Like
It's
really
true.
cool
Mhm.
things. And then there's some I'm just like, I think you just exist.
Right. Well, and I think I was going to say this immediately, even before you start describing some of your cousins and family members, is some people don't necessarily feel safe to come out with their personality, even if they've been around someone. A lot of the times it's due to social anxiety. And also, I love you, Sam, and I love your family, but not everyone is so charismatic. A lot of people are just naturally reserved. I mean, most of the side of my family, unless provoked, and a few outliers, they're very reserved. And you're
That's true.
not going to
That's
get
true.
to know them unless you approach them and get them to talk about
I
the
feel
things
like
they
it's
love.
just the whole like extrovert versus introvert type
Right,
thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair. That's fair.
exactly.
Two little things that are in the controversial corner if you're watching the video. One, it looks like I have cat ears because of these mountains behind me.
Mhm.
This is part of Larissa's mural that she did
I sure
along half
did.
the basement wall.
Hmm.
And 2, I got little guys.
Hmm.
You can see them from like
Absolutely.
gotchas and stuff like that. And there's Go Tanks from Dragon Ball
Spoiler,
Z.
I was going to bring that up in my HGTV update.
Oh, I mean, you still can, but there's
That's a
little guys
segue,
there.
right?
Right,
It's a segue.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
here, let me
Well done.
segue to Larissa's small
Mhm.
talk.
There we go.
Yeah, so during the week this week, Sam was sitting around and he's like, gosh darn, this office setup is not working for me. Like right back, like we're
That's
in the
right.
1950s, and he asked me to bring him some whiskey and was like, honey, I think we need to rearrange this. And I was like, yes, I sure can do.
That's not how it
No,
happened.
it's not. But he did ask me. He's like, you're really good at this. You've been loving interior design and rearranging things. What can I do to make the setup better? Because I want to use this for personal and work time. And right now, it seems like neither is working. And so we took almost an entire day to rearrange everything. We
Oh wow.
also decided to add in a desk that we were using as storage because why do we have like a bunch of random desks in our basements? It's because it happens, and I'm an artist, and sometimes you outgrow desks and you get a new one. And so we put that in. Sam already had an L-shaped desk, so we kind of made an extended,
Yeah.
large desk. And so now he has his. How many monitors do you have? You have 3 large monitors.
Yeah, you can't see them in the video. I have a 32-inch curve monitor and then
Wow.
two 22-inch monitors and then 2 laptops.
Yes.
3 of them are for work, 2 of
Mhm.
them are for personal gaming use. The
Mhm.
big 32-inch one was an old work computer
Mhm.
monitor that after I left the job, they let me keep.
Yeah, they did, which is
That's
So,
awesome.
nice.
yeah, they
Mhm.
were like, "Here you go.
But then
We're
we
not
feel
gonna give
bad.
you anything else." No, I'm just kidding.
Right. And then so now that his desk is rearranged for where he wants to keep his personal stuff / gaming things, you see a different view of our basement. So you can see the lovely mural I painted for him for his 30th birthday shindig a few years ago. And so my inspiration,
A
as you
few
can see,
years ago.
well,
Wow.
I
Calling
No,
him
know.
no, no, no,
out.
no, no, no. It hasn't happened yet. She's prepping for the future. I'm only 22.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think we can fool anyone with that anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the inspiration was like arts and crafts movement, sort of abstracted illustration design. I almost wanted half of our basement is used for like entertainment and it's kind of separated into thirds, I should say. A third is for
Kinda, yeah.
entertainment, a third's for his office, and then a third is for like a pool table. And before you start thinking that we're fancy and rich, it's like a 3-in-1 Dick's pool table from like 2006 that is kind
Every
of
time someone
falling
comes over,
apart.
hey, just let you know, it's not regulation standards.
It's not. It's a
Just
big
regular pool table.
deal.
That's fine.
I do want to turn the pool table.
Hmm.
We still have to ask your dad if it's cool
Sure.
because
I'm
it
sure
technically
he would
was
be.
theirs.
Hmm.
But I want to turn it into a board game table.
Hmm.
So I want to get
Oh,
like wood and put it around the edges, like reinforce it because it's a little
Mhm.
unstable right now.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to kind of like strip off all the old plastic on the edges,
Hmm.
put wood on it, and then it's already got a felt top on it,
It
and
does.
the pool holes can be
Hmm.
cup holders,
It
so
could be.
That's
half the
true.
battle's already fought.
And we could still technically use it for pool if we wanted to. It's not like you can't, because
That's
Yeah.
true.
the
That is true.
pockets don't like. It's not a real pool table, so you have to take the pool balls out from the holes. It's not like
Right.
it leads into like a cavern. I'm trying to think of
My
the word
grandpa's
for
old
it.
one did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
used to have a tunnel
Hmm.
system, and
It's really cool.
Mhm.
But anyway, the original goal was to make it look like a beer garden. So half of the mural is supposed to make you feel like you're in a forest, and the other we have like a bunch of collage of like random portraits and beer signs and things to make you feel like you're in a bar.
yeah, I guess I could just
Mhm.
That's only for the viewers' eyes
Yeah.
only.
yeah.
So
For-
let's see how successful it is. It's kind of fun.
I feel like it's a horror movie. Like,
I
a
know.
little bit.
So yeah, that was my HGTV update for you guys, and the details of our fun little birthday extravaganza for our mother-in-law includes going to see the Lucille Ball Museum, which was super cool because she's a pioneer in the Hollywood industry. Not many
Yeah.
people know that she was one of the first women to own her own Hollywood studio, like by herself, and so
Lucille Ball, not my mom.
right, not your mom. So she
Jeez.
paved the way for a lot of women in the industry at that time during the golden age of Hollywood to rightly feel their own position and have the rights to say what they wanted done for
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
roles and things, which was very uncommon at the time. So it was cool to see all of her outfits and things. And the coolest thing I think in there was her Mercedes, or was it a Mercedes, right?
Oh yeah,
Her
Mercedes
personal
Benz, yeah.
car. Yeah, I was just in this little like museum, this car in this mirrored room, so it made it look like there was like 30 Mercedes in there.
They're, like all
And the
reflected.
Emmys.
That's fun.
Yeah, and the Emmys were in there too. Her actual Emmys she collected from the show and her work as like a Hollywood person. So it was really fun. And we also went to a thrift store in the area, hence why Sam got his hat. There was a bunch of cool little knickknack things in there, and there was also all these cute little like cottagecore girly things I would call, where there was these tea kettles that were made out of like ceramic, and they were
Oh.
different little like townhouses, and one was a fireplace with a kitten in front of it, and one was like a desk. It was so precious, but like I don't have enough space in my kitchen right now to display them properly. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let some cottagecore girly take these. It was a
That's fair.
prize.
Speaking of thrift store, and I know this intro is really long. We're already at the 20-minute mark.
I know.
I mean, I don't think the episode's going to take super long today. But speaking of thrift stores, Larissa
Mhm.
sent me a TikTok of
Yes.
a thrift store find the other day
Mhm.
of a little cat version of a
Right.
nativity scene where
Mhm.
all the people in the nativity scene are cats.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I was like, we have that
We have
exact
the
same
exact
one.
same one.
Oh,
So
that's
it
funny.
was,
Yeah, we
I
found
don't know
our
if it was my
twins.
grandma's or my aunt's or something, and it was
Mhm.
in my mom's basement. And she was like, do you want this? I was like, heck yeah, we want it. And we have these two
Mhm.
little cubbies in our living room where an old telephone used to be and probably the
Mhm.
old doorbell or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
And so we split them up and put it in both cubbies and
I
just
feel
put it.
like
I
I've
think you've seen
probably
it before.
at
It's
Christmas
Yeah.
time when you
so
guys decorate.
good.
Yeah.
It's so classic. Like baby Jesus is a little kitten. I love him. But anyway, there's no good segue into this, but maybe, creature comforts, home, little cottages, waking up, having a bowl of cereal. This is a good way to segue into what we're doing today.
Is it? Yeah, because I thought we were talking about something else, so I have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, I decided to switch it up last second because I was much more interested in this. No offense, dear Samuel. Samuel came up with
I lied to you.
With a bracket that was very good, but I was nervous about the discussion we could have with it, and nothing's more personal than your choice of cereal in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is a shout out and a reference to Good Mythical Morning, one of Sam's favorite YouTubers in the whole wide world. And so we're going to do a March Madness style bracket of cereal.
Now, I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue we had with the original bracket, by the way, called March Sadness.
It was, yes.
And maybe, nope, it will be out of March next episode, so I can't do it. But it was sad deaths in movies, anime, TV show, and stuff. And I thought it was really good. Larissa was worried that her and Steph didn't know a lot of them, or some of them, and I thought maybe the audience would. But the problem is I don't eat cereal.
Well...
I've probably eaten like a handful of cereals before.
Sure, but you've eaten them dry as snacks.
A handful of them before, yes.
Well, we'll see. You can imagine, and so...
I can tell you still what a bad cereal is,
exactly. And I do apologize, dear listeners. Maybe we'll recycle it for next year, or just a random bracket, because who doesn't love a good bracket tier system? Maybe we can bring it up during some other tournament season, like perhaps a World Series or something. I'm not sure. But anyway,
I haven't had many cereals either. I can't even tell you the last time I've eaten cereal.
Me either. But...
Wait. So the reason this big switch happened to begin with is because you were worried that there was a couple names on this list out of 16 that you or Steph didn't know.
I didn't know.
And now we're doing cereals, and none of us eat cereal.
Well, I didn't know half of the death scenes, so I would have just been like, I don't know.
Oh no, I have no problem with it. I think we're gonna have fun. Yeah.
Well,
I just think it's silly.
No, you know what?
I feel like a lot of controversial corners are going to develop from this episode.
Other people's controversial corners.
Yeah, right. Just real quickly, I think I'm going to pop up the first bracket of the one that Sam created, so you guys can understand my feelings about this. Let's see. Opening it up. So one of the ones that I was really concerned about was this death sequence. Which one's sadder? Hodor from Game of Thrones or Seymour from Futurama?
And let me tell you, the answer is Seymour from Futurama. And Seymour probably takes the entire tournament. I know Steph and Larissa don't know either of these references.
No, we don't. I have no emotional gravity towards any of these things.
Let me explain it really quick. Hodor, very simple. He's a guy from Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. The reason he has his name Hodor is because of some weird mind time travel thing. But he's holding a door back from these White Walker zombie things that are attacking, and they just tell him to hold the door, and he keeps saying, hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. But there's somebody in his mind trying to watch this, and they're trying to tell him to hold the door, and he keeps repeating it over and over until it just turns into Hodor. With Seymour, it's, if you've ever seen Futurama, the main character's name is Fry. He gets teleported to the year 3000 or whatever. He's a pizza delivery boy. He has a pet dog named Seymour. Oh, hi, Pib. How'd you get to Steph's house?
No.
Oh, that's Frankie.
That's Frankie.
Guys, you get to meet Frankie. How adorable.
Keep going.
But Seymour's a dog, and
it's the Hachiko
he gets sad
story, right?
that... What?
It's the Hachiko story, right?
Yeah, I guess Seymour waits around for Fry every day outside the pizza shop for him to come back, and he never comes back, and he never moves on with his life, and Fry just assumes he moves on from his life, so he chooses not to bring him back because he was carbonated. And he could have brought him back, but he'd still be like 15 years old.
Right. Would have passed.
And so it wasn't worth it. Yeah, but it's probably the saddest TV episode ever.
All right. And so the other one I was really worried about was Glenn from The Walking Dead versus Tara from Teen Titans.
Glenn from The Walking Dead, super sad, because he was like the only thing holding it together at that point.
I just remember
after he died.
I don't remember the specifics of Tara, but I do remember it was sad and affected me as a kid. So I'm going to say sad. Very traumatizing.
She was. Yeah, she got turned to stone. She sacrificed herself, got turned to stone, and that was her death.
She was a cool character.
Glenn was beat over the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Wait, so I've lost the plot.
No, I was just pointing out some like concerns I had because yes, these are such deep conversations we're having because I have no comment on at least those two brackets immediately. So I do love you, Sam. But we're gonna start with something a little bit more silly. Our first C bracket is Apple Jacks versus Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. Or how does this work? No, I just scream
You
it
guys,
out.
yeah, scream it out.
Fruit Loops.
Argue. Let's see what your points are for each, and then we'll decide which one will win it out.
I will say old school commercial. I think if we were doing commercials only, it'd be the Apple Jacks one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're so good, yeah.
Because I didn't like the Toucan, but that's one cereal. Fruit Loops I ate as a kid.
Okay.
I did eat Fruit Loops dry as a kid.
Just dry? I ate it with milk.
I don't like milk.
Yeah, we're weirdos.
I like strawberry milk and chocolate milk and milkshakes. I just don't like regular milk. Yeah.
Right.
Even as a kid, when you eat cereal?
Correct.
Yeah, I just didn't eat cereal. I go waffles.
Okay, that's fair.
And so I think as an adult now, I would actually go for Apple Jacks.
Ooh,
I feel like the apple
spicy.
flavor with the cinnamon. But I'm gonna have to go with Fruit Loops. I think it's a clear winner.
I also will say with Fruit Loops, as a kid, I used to eat them by color.
Interesting.
So I would separate them in the bowl.
All right.
And then and I would try to be like, okay, I'm only eating the green ones right now. And I would just...
Fascinating.
That's crazy that you grew out of your autism.
I was like, well, they can make a joke there, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate.
As a kid, I used to do that. Like, I used to be like, okay, the green ones are first, then I'm going to go for the red ones, then I'll go for the purple ones last, because I like doing that.
That's funny.
I mean, that's a kid thing to do.
Absolutely.
Sort your things by color sometimes.
Yeah, if you're a parent and you're listening to this conversation, don't be that worried. Unless there's other troubling signs in addition. Don't worry. Your kid's probably fine.
Kid's fine regardless.
Right. Well, also...
Okay, so... Are you giving your take too, Lorissa?
Well, I'm going to give my take. My take's going to be more of a tiebreaker.
Okay, that's fair.
Personally, I always have adored Apple Jacks. They were always my favorite. I'm an apple juice girly through and through. Hated orange juice up until I was an adult and realized you could put vodka in it. But yeah, also I was disturbed by the fact that Fruit Loops isn't spelled Fruit Loops, it's Froot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
I think it's a better way to spell it too.
I don't know. That's kind of like spelling quick, Kwik. Like,
or Kitty College and they're spelling it wrong. I'm like, dude, isn't that like the point of it is to learn?
Exactly. But we'll let Fruit Loops go on. And
nice.
Our second seed will be, this is more of an adult one. I wanted to switch it up from our kids' cereals. We'll do some Honey Bunches of Oats versus Raisin Bran.
Ooh.
I don't know. I've never had either.
I've never had either.
Really? So
I gotta even look it up. Honey Bunches of Oats?
Yeah, I don't actually know what Honey Bunches of Oats looks like.
I was like, I don't know what it looks like. I need to see a box. I guess okay.
The biggest disagreement is whether or not you think raisins should be in cereal.
You said Raisin Bran was the other?
Do raisins
I'll say Honey Bunches of Oats looks tastier.
I was gonna say it does look better. Just looking at both cereals, I'm gonna say Honey Bunches of Oats. I do like honey flavored things, so I feel like just that's gonna be tastier in general. I feel like that with oat milk would be pretty good.
I think that without milk would be okay.
Fair enough. So yeah, do you think raisins belong in cereal?
I think it's fine.
I don't know, for people that like cereal, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's whatever. I think it's just a preference thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because I think raisins are healthy for you, but that's like, are you really eating cereal for health reasons?
No.
Like, let's be American cereal.
These are the cereals you're pretending you're healthy by eating, so...
I think people, instead of using regular milk or oat milk for their cereal, should start using condensed milk.
That's crazy.
Condensed milk.
So it's like ice cream, essentially, melted ice cream.
Yeah, so it's like a dessert.
That's wild.
It's pretty good. All right, we're going straight back to the kiddos cereal, and so it's going to be the Pebbles versus Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles versus Fruity Pebbles. The only ones that matter. Ooh. Come on.
Fruity Pebbles. I never liked them as a kid, to be honest, but I also didn't eat, as a kid, I never really ate chocolate cereal. Even
you
though
don't
I
like chocolate.
Well, but even as a kid, when I did like chocolate, I still didn't eat chocolate cereal.
Interesting. Okay, you didn't like that it was chocolate milk at the end.
Yeah, I didn't like chocolate milk as a kid. Okay. So yeah. So,
I think
Fruity Pebbles.
I don't think I've ever eaten either of these by themselves, just because I didn't like the idea of little flakes, and that's what they are.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think though, if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with, what are they called? Choco Pebbles? What?
Cocoa.
Cocoa Pebbles,
Mm-hmm.
because it turns the milk chocolate milk, and I like chocolate milk.
That's fair.
And I like chocolate stuff. I mean, obviously, I don't think it should be a breakfest food.
No,
I just
not
can you
sounds like a
imagine.
dessert.
Can you imagine all the dyes now? That's all I'm thinking about is like how many. Like red 41 or blue, whatever those numbers are.
Crunchy
those are football.
granola stuff here.
I'm just thinking like,
I
mean, it does, when you have chocolate cereal and it turns the milk chocolate, as a kid, you're like, that's awesome. But as an adult, I'm like, that's weird. That's not a breakfast. Like Cookie Crisps. It's just a bowl of cookies.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be fantastic.
What about Reese Puffs?
We're getting there. Come on.
That's a little different because
Spoiler.
they're Rice Puffs.
Hold your discussion point.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go with Cocoa Puffs. Steph is going with
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles. What
so
are you
Lorissa,
tiebreaker?
I'm a tiebreaker. So I will say Cocoa Pebbles as a kid always felt like it had a richer flavor. But I know, which sounds insane as a child to have this sort of like exquisite palate. But Fruity Pebbles always tasted, it's gonna sound weird, happier almost. Like it tasted so sweet.
Fruity Pebbles?
Yeah, like it's just a pure sugar rush.
Okay.
That's true.
And so because I'm an adult now, I'm gonna go with Fruity Pebbles because I appreciate that you could taste. No, wait, no, I meant Cocoa Pebbles. I apologize.
Wow, you got my hopes up.
I'm sorry, Steph.
Wow.
Yeah, I can appreciate that I can taste the little minuscule amounts of grains of rice.
Okay.
So Cocoa Pebbles goes on, and so for our fourth seed, a little bit more back to an adult round. We have Corn Flakes versus Rice Krispies.
Oh, hell yeah. Rice Krispies all the way. 100%.
I'm gonna, this is tough. Now, I'm not gonna treat them like cereals. I'm treating them as usage.
Oh, for like dredges and things like that?
Well, so for cornflakes, you can use it as a topping on like a chicken.
Absolutely.
Make a chicken sandwich up with cornflakes on top, or a nice mac and cheese topping.
Absolutely.
But with Rice Krispies, you get Rice Krispie treats.
So good.
Now, it comes down to what would I prefer having, Rice Krispie treats or mac and cheese with crunchies on top? And that's really tough.
It's two different grains of cereal, you know.
I know.
Dude, the snap, crackle, pop.
I know.
Rice Krispies.
Iconic mascots and a jingle. It's the OG.
I guess if I have to look at it as a cereal, I'm going to go with Rice Krispies.
Yes.
I think as a food, though, cornflakes, because
no, but
they just go on
dude,
top of everything.
That was one of my favorite cereals growing up was Rice Krispies.
Fair
that's
enough.
probably I'm going to be honest with you, that's probably the last cereal I had.
That's interesting.
Before the war.
Before the war.
No, before I just stopped eating cereal in general. Like, I'm pretty sure Rice Krispies is probably my last one.
That's that remix episode, all these flubs we're having.
Yeah, too many.
Me and you, and I don't know, Larissa, did you have a flub yet?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
Okay, good. We're all equal.
We're all human. I mean, flubs happen. All right, so our fifth seed, we're going to go straight to our honeys, that I like to call, you know, they're very sweet, you know? So Honey Nut Cheerios versus honeycombs. The Postopia honeycombs.
Honey, I need to look up what that box
honeycombs is the little bee, right? Oh, wait, no, that's
they're like little honeycombs. They're so good.
Honeycomb cereal.
They're
the ones that look like honeycombs.
Yes, exactly. It was the If you guys were Postopia kids back in the day, that was the big mascot for the mini clip games on
that's
there.
That little freak. I'm voting for this one because a little freak.
I would say Honey Nut Cheerios. I just feel like Cheerios are a classic.
Yeah, but if you look at these mascots, which one would tear the other one to shreds and eat their flesh? It's the honeycombs mascot.
Oh, that thing's scary. Wait,
it's horrible.
That's bringing back horrible memories.
I know.
Wait, that's awful.
What even is it?
I don't know, but they tried to make him cool and trendy because the biggest game on Postopia was his bicycle game. Do you remember that? Where you go on different platforms and use his tricycle to like do tricks and stuff?
His name is Crazy Craving. He's a marsupial-like cartoon character who rabidly craves honeycomb cereal.
Rapidly, absolutely. My guy here is willing to take
His catchphrase. Sorry, I'm on the fandom wiki for breakfast
cereal
mascots.
Yes. I love this.
His catchphrase was "Me want honeycomb."
That's a great catchphrase.
I vaguely remember now after you said that, those commercials, they were very unhinged.
Yeah, no, I actually hate this.
So there's that mascot. And then there was the honeycomb kid, which was a little bit different, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm still gonna stick with my gut. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Steph, you said Honey Nut Cheerios then,
Yes.
and Sam, you said honeycomb.
Yeah, because the little guy.
He is a freak. And I personally adored honeycombs, so I'm going to have to break the tie and say honeycombs win.
Wow,
Little freaks win.
They were so tasty.
Shout out to all the little freaks listening. We support
Crazy.
you. That includes your husband, Steph.
No. So on to our 6th seed. We're going to go Lucky Charms versus Captain Crunch Berries.
Oh. I gotta go Lucky Charms. This is one of those ones I did eat as a kid, but specifically just the marshmallows.
For the marshmallows, yeah.
I will pick Lucky Charms just because I've never had the other Captain Crunch
berries.
I've never had those before, but I still did not like Lucky Charms growing up. I hated the marshmallow taste. I know everybody, as a kid, everyone craved it. I could not stand it. I would eat everything else except for the marshmallows, and I'd leave them soaking up the milk.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
You could buy just the marshmallows.
I
now,
know, which is insane to me.
It's awesome.
Oh,
it's one of those things that sound fun as an adult, like a millennial, like, oh, I can get the marshmallows from when I was a kid, and then you get them and you're like,
this is
I
not
don't want
good,
this.
right? Like, what am I gonna put it on ice cream and it doesn't taste right because the textures are too off? So we'll let Lucky Charms win. And by the way, Lucky Charms was my answer too, because I don't know, this is one of those cereals that I absolutely despised as a kid, was the Captain Crunch Berries. I don't know why, I just hated it.
People say they cut up the roof of your mouth.
That's true too.
Oh.
I haven't experienced it. I don't eat them, but
all right. And so for our, I guess, 7th seed now, we're gonna go our peanut butter rounds because I'm a peanut butter fiend, so I want to know what your opinions are on this.
You peanut butter freak.
So Captain Crunch Peanut Butter Crunch, which had a different texture, shape, and Reese's Puffs.
I ate Reese's Puffs as a kid, so I'm gonna go with that 100%. And just the song, hello.
Reese's
they had such
Puffs.
Don't get us sued.
They had such a catchy jingle, so I would say the Reese's Puffs for sure.
I would have to go with also Reese's Puffs. Again, not a big Captain Crunch guy in general.
Sure.
But I do know Reese's Puffs taste good. And who doesn't like peanut butter and chocolate together?
I know. So classic.
They're match made in heaven, as opposed to, is there chocolate in the peanut butter?
What do you mean?
Captain Crunch, or are they just peanut butter?
It's just peanut butter.
Fake news.
Fair enough. I will also agree with you guys. Reese's Puffs is the GOAT. So earlier from your conversation before I stopped you because spoilers, what was your argument about Reese's Puffs? You said Cookie Crisps aren't a real cereal, but Reese's Puffs, and then I stopped you. What was your argument?
Because Reese's Puffs are rice puffs with some peanut butter and chocolate flavoring mixed in.
Okay.
Cookie Crisp are literally just small cookies that if you gave me a bag of like Cookie Crisp on a road trip, I'm going to eat these. I'm not going to eat a bag of Reese's Puffs.
Speak for yourself. I will, but
that's because you're built different.
I am built differently. You're absolutely correct. All right. Thank you for concluding that argument, Sam. I'm happy to hear that. All right. So our final seed before we start really duking it out between all the different cereals, Frosted Flakes. And I wasn't sure what to contend it with because Frosted Flakes, I feel like, is its own sort of thing, especially with what I've paired other cereals with already. But I went Cocoa Puffs because you can't forget about Cocoa Puffs. They're so classic.
See, I would have put Frosted Flakes against Corn Flakes.
Yeah, but then I feel like that's an obvious winner. Which one's going to win there? So I feel like Corn Flakes versus Rice Krispies was a much more fair battle.
So
is this the last round?
Yeah. You said Frosted Flakes and what? What was the second option? Cocoa Puffs.
I'm sorry, you didn't put Cinnamon Toast Crunch in this? The only cereal I like?
I know. I'm
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the only good cereal.
Do you want me to swap it out? I could put Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the bottom because I wanted to put it in there. Okay. All right. We'll put Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch makes it easy.
Okay.
No debate.
What about Tony the Tiger? That's the best mascot of all time.
No, it's not. That little freak is.
Wait, so we're doing Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Frosted Flakes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never had either, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the only cereal, like, I would sit down right now, go to the store, and I'm actually craving
I'm,
right now.
actually looking between the two. I've just never had either of these.
That's
but if I had to choose, I would probably say Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
I feel like
it has flavor, yeah.
The cinnamon would be good.
All right, cool. All right, so now from our first and second seeds battling out, we need to decide who would be the champion between these two.
Okay.
Fruit Loops versus Honey Bunches of Oats.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit
Easy.
Loops.
Okay. All right.
No debate.
Peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Squeeze that lemon.
Fair enough. All right. And then for our next Duke 'em Up, we have Cocoa Pebbles versus Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies.
Cocoa Pebbles versus Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies because they have more utility. They have more utility.
All right. All right.
I just love when you pour the milk in it.
I know. It's so iconic.
I'm going to eat a bowl of Pop Rocks tonight.
I was going to say, I was like, it's the cereal version of Pop Rocks. So classic.
That's funny.
All right. Our next round is Honeycombs versus Lucky Charms.
I would choose Honeycombs.
Interesting.
That's right. Put that little freak through. Honeycomb signature. I like Lucky Charms better, but this guy's pulling a lot of weight right now.
That's crazy. Guy. Just the mascot over the cereal itself.
Now, if we would have done just straight mascots, it'd be crazy.
I know,
I like
that'd
Toucan
be really
Sam.
fun.
I like that little wolf guy from the Cookie Crisp thing.
Yeah, he's a little wild. I think
Cinnamon Toast Crunch guys, those are wild. They're cannibals.
Yeah,
they eat each
true.
other.
I don't know. There's something about Tony the Tiger that just, I don't know, makes me happy.
You little
he's
furry
so
freak.
Well, I'm not, but he's so iconic.
This is our freak episode.
Absolutely. All right, so our last one before we get to our semi-championships, we're going to say Reese's Puffs versus Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh.
I'm going to say Reese's Puffs.
Oh, okay.
Just because I've eaten those as a kid.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay. So Lorissa, you're the tiebreaker on this one.
So I am obsessed with Reese's Puffs to this day, and will still go out and buy a box if I needed to. So Reese's Puff. I'm sorry, it's an upset, but it's gonna win. He took off the ring, listeners, by the way.
Took off the wedding ring. Divorced.
Wow.
That would have taken it all the entire way for any normal person in any bracket ever. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, best cereal.
It's fair. All right, so now we're in the quarterfinals. Are you ready? Okay. Are you pumped?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we got Fruit Loops versus Rice Krispies.
I'm gonna say Rice Krispies. That's my favorite cereal.
I'm gonna make you choose. I think I like Fruit Loops better as a cereal. If we're talking pure cereal, in this case, because I actually like both of these.
That's fair.
Pure cereal, Rice Krispies. Oh yeah.
All right.
I love the plain taste. I do.
No, that's so good.
What a weirdo.
I always kind of hated the artificialness of the fruity cereals. So I'm going to go with Rice Krispies.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Wait, does that mean it makes it to the final?
It does.
Wait, that's crazy. I love that.
All right, in our last quarterfinal.
Our listeners are probably like screaming.
I know.
They're like, what are
they
you
should
talking
be.
What is going on?
Please stay on the road. Do not crash your cars. I know you're angry. I know you're upset.
Let's go on with our last quarterfinal finalists. Honeycombs versus Reese's Puffs.
I would say Reese's Puffs.
Honeycomb, my little guy, getting through. Come on.
Yeah, I adore Honeycombs. I really do. Like, that was probably my second tier cereal after Kix. I didn't add Kix because I know that's an oddball cereal. It's
Kix
so good.
looks like Reese's Puffs, but they're just corn.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
I
corn
loved it.
puffs.
It's so good. But anyway, Honeycombs were the better Kix. They just tasted sugary, in my opinion. So I'm sorry, Sam. I love that mascot. He's pretty great. He's so iconic. It brings me back to my feels. Going
Sam's
to
just taking all the L's.
I know, but I gotta go with my homeboy, Reese. Sorry.
Ready to leave the podcast.
So our finalists are going to be Rice Krispies versus Reese's Puff.
It's the worst cereal bracket of all time.
Probably, but Rice Krispies. I'm sticking with it. I still like that cereal. That's my go-to.
Rice Krispies. I'm
Whoa!
gonna have to.
Yes.
What? That's wild.
Yes.
No.
I don't really care about Reese's Puffs.
Okay.
In general, and Rice Krispies have utility. That's what it comes down to, utility. I'd rather eat a Rice Krispie treat than a bag of Reese's Puff cereal. If it was Reese's Cups or Reese's Pieces, it'd be different. But
have you had the actual like Rice Krispie treats where you actually make it with the cereal, not just like the store-bought version?
Yeah. My grandma used to make them.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
So
my
good.
mom might make them too. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She probably learned it from my grandma. Yeah,
that's fair.
All right. Well, thank you so much, listeners. I know you're also just as disappointed as I am that our champion was
I don't know.
Rice Krispies.
This is a big dub for me. For Steph, she stayed winning this time.
How did Steph win this? How did this happen?
This is awesome.
And maybe in an alternate universe, you would find out that the winner of the March Sadness bracket was the death of Mufasa in The Lion King. But that's for a different episode.
Boo.
I know. So we'll close it out. You can find us on Shifting Tones Pod on what's that social media?
Reddit and Blue Sky. I guess I don't really post. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry if you actually care to follow us on social media.
Okay.
We technically have an Instagram too. I know it's not a lot of work, but it feels like it sometimes.
Absolutely. You're not wrong at all. And sometimes we all need hiatuses to have an awesome comeback. So maybe we'll have a good comeback on social media sometime soon.
Just follow us on YouTube. It's probably the best place to follow us.
It is, absolutely. But if you want to follow us individually, if we do post, you can follow Sam at Sir Captain Sam, myself at Lorissa.Schaefer, and Steph at Spiffy Stuffy. So without further ado, we'll close it out and say our goodbyes.
Bye!
Bye!